Hey everyone, welcome to episode 16 of A Drop of Sunshine. I'm Daphne DeLorme, and today we're talking about the power of vulnerability. Purpose exists in everything and everyone. If you're listening to this right now, you're gifted with a beating heart and a very particular purpose. We were all created uniquely with gifts and talents no one else on this earth has, and one of the biggest tragedies is passing through this life without meaning or purpose. Most of us are influenced by family, friends, or other relationships on what we're supposed to do with our life or who we're supposed to be. This affects our careers, hobbies, and relationships. I don't have all the answers, but my mission is to help bring you truth and closer to your purpose, one drop at a time. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 16 of A Drop of Sunshine. Co-host Nash and I here. And before I get into the hot topic today, which by the way is all about the power of vulnerability, we're going to get to that in just a moment. But I do want to say I'm super excited. I finally have my 6-week coaching program all together, ready to go, and I am launching in a couple of weeks. I have 5 spots left. So if you like this podcast, you're going to love this coaching program. It's all about overcoming limiting beliefs and living life with purpose, helping you find your purpose. If you don't know that, if you're maybe in a transitional season of your life, I would love to connect with you on a deep, personal, and vulnerable level. So shoot me an email, daphne@daphnedeloren.com. And one more thing, I'm also booking speaking engagements. I just came back from one this past weekend. I spoke at a Mother's Day banquet. It was so life-giving. It was so awesome connecting with so many women in a real vulnerable way as well. So if you could shoot me an email, maybe you know of an event or someplace you know where a Drop of Sunshine message would go hand in hand with, I would love to talk more about it and see if it's a good fit. You can shoot me an email, daphne@daphnedeloren.com. All right, let's get right into the heart of the message today. What are we talking about? And I was really wondering, okay, we talked about mindset. We've talked about so many awesome things these past few weeks. We covered insomnia, how to overcome insomnia. That was the last episode. If you have not listened to that and you struggle with sleep, I hear you. My friend, you definitely want to listen to this episode. I struggle with insomnia for many years of my life. So now I know ways to overcome it and hopefully help you as well. Okay, so today's message, here's where my heart is. It's all about vulnerability. And everything around you is going to try to shy you away from this because we have something called Instagram and social media, which comes with all these filters. And so we get on these social media, sites and we're scrolling and we're seeing all of these picture perfect lives. And we think that our life needs to be, we hold ourselves to this unrealistic bar of perfectionism. And so I want to encourage you to see beyond that and to be okay with being you. Because the best, most comfortable, most freeing place you can ever be in your life is to be exactly who God created you to be, without sugarcoating, with imperfections, with flaws, with pimples, whatever it looks like, it's okay. And everything else is going to teach you the opposite of this. So I do want to say, when we have the courage, when we're going through painful seasons of our lives, maybe we're suffering, maybe we feel alone, whatever that is, it comes in so many different shapes and forms. When we have the courage to open up and be okay with being vulnerable with our feelings, it allows a door to open up to connect deeply with somebody. And I'm not saying be vulnerable with everyone and just spill your beans out, because you have to be careful. Some people don't have your best interest in mind, and it can work in the opposite effect. But if there's somebody in your life that you trust, a relationship that you trust, when you're okay with being vulnerable in a season of suffering in your life, it can allow you to connect on such a deep level with somebody that could have never happened if everything was happy-go-lucky in your life. And it's like this human being deep connection that we actually thrive for in life. And in the season that you're least likely to want to open up to somebody, it's actually the most deep connection you can find. And so I encourage you, if there is a relationship in your life that you trust, be okay with being vulnerable, because here's what I've found. When I get courage to be vulnerable, not only do I connect with someone on a deep level, but it's almost a source of healing for me. Like this past weekend, I was at a Mother's Day banquet with all these women, different ages. I mean, from baby to grandma age. And I got super vulnerable with them. And as I was speaking, I felt the source of healing within myself. And then I noticed the eyes and faces of these women who were connecting with me. And I could tell, like, the message I was giving, who it was connecting with and who it wasn't, just by looking into their eyes. And if my pain can help somebody else, I'm called to share my story. I'm not going to waste my pain. So many times we go through painful situations and we either tuck it away or bury it and never, go back to that place, and we don't ever talk about it. But what if I challenged you? What if your painful situation can help somebody else? Because here's the deal, my friend, my beautiful friend who's listening to me right now. There are two options when we go through pain in life. Option one, it hurts so bad, we get bitter, we get resentful, we tuck it away, and it haunts us in different relationships in life, and we don't even realize where it came from. Or we confront that painful situation head on, be intentional with it, go to that place in our heart, and for me, to seek Jesus when I'm in pain and to ask him as I'm crying, because that's where I'm healing, when I'm actually going through the grieving phase, and say, God, please go to that place in my heart as I'm in pain and help me to heal. Then go through the healing process, overcome it. Now I'm healed. Now I'm stronger. And now my pain can be used to help somebody else. Because maybe they're not in that healed season, and maybe they need hope. And maybe, my friend, you are that hope. What a blessing. It's almost like you can look at a painful situation as such a blessing. Like, thank God I went through that, because now I can help somebody who doesn't have hope, and I can be a testimony that they can get over it because I got over it and now I'm stronger. So I want to encourage you to be okay with being vulnerable, and to realize what's going on in our society, that there's these unrealistic bars of expectation of your looks and your career and who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to look to this world, when it's so far from the truth. You're okay to have bad days. In fact, I encourage you to feel the feeling. I was coaching one of my clients the other day, and I said, it's okay to feel the feeling. And she said, Daphne, nobody's actually ever told me that it's okay to feel something. Because everything around you says, have more faith, you're strong. No, there are some moments it's going to be really painful, and you're going to be sad, and you're going to be depressed, and you're going to be alone. Embrace the feeling, but what do you do with that feeling? Like, do you stay there and get in this ball of negativity mentally, and then you're like just stuck in this place? Or do you realize what's going on? You become intentional, you bite it in the bullet, and you overcome it, but the way to overcome it is by feeling the feeling. And I can only say, with God in my life, I have grieved and I have, felt the feelings. But when you have God, there's something about going through that process with Him. And then it's such an expedited process. Does that make sense? Like you feel the feeling, it's painful, you heal, you overcome, and somehow when you seek Jesus, it's not that bad. You don't look like what you've been through, and the process is so much faster than trying to do it all on your own. So I will say sometimes it's going to take you being vulnerable first for another person to open up. A lot of times I wasn't even thinking about it and I was vulnerable, and that opened the door for the other person on the other side to say, oh, I was just dealing with that. And then they get vulnerable because they feel comfortable because I was brave enough to open up first. And here's the thing. I don't believe we're created to go through suffering alone in this world. When storms of life hit us, when obstacles hit us, you're not created to go through that alone. So if you can go through that with somebody else who's already been there and learn from them, or be that person for somebody else to learn from, guess what? You gain yourself some time. I would much rather learn from somebody else who has made mistakes than to make the same mistake in my life and go through years of learning this on my own. So if somebody else is brave enough to be vulnerable and I'm listening to them and I'm getting wisdom from them, then that's going to save me years potentially. And guess what? We can never gain time back. I would much rather save myself time by learning from someone else. Then you share the lesson you learned along the process. And when we talk about our fears, we lower the feeling of that fear and we help each other. And so, just looking back in my life when I went through seasons or, obstacles or painful situations, there's so much I learned from each one of those, from relationships, from decisions I wish I could have taken back. But there was a learning experience in every single one of them. So if I can acknowledge that and I say, oh, here's what I learned, here's how I grew, now let me get a microphone and share this. Because if I can help one person, it's actually really fulfilling for me. It's a source of healing and it's an opportunity to bless somebody else, for them to realize they're not alone and to give them hope and to share how I overcame this current situation. But there's going to be moments where it's honestly the last thing you want to do is open up. And I totally hear you. I've been there before, and that's okay too. And sometimes it takes just being there for a little bit longer to say, okay, I need help, and that's okay. I also believe pain is a good thing in life. Pain is a source of getting our attention. It's almost like an alarm. And so if we didn't have pain in certain situations, it could actually be detrimental. Like imagine you're cooking and your finger's on the stove and you don't even feel it. Like because you have pain, it's an alarm signaling your mind to take your dang finger off the stovetop. And so, let's say you're driving and you're so sleepy, like you are just, on the verge of falling asleep on the road. That's an alarm you need to pull over. There are painful things in our life that's a good thing, okay? And then there's also, I want to talk about the difference between pain, fear, and faith. So pain is a good thing, right? And pain can go hand in hand with fear because fear is an alarm too. Like if you're driving again, and you're tired and you feel like you're going to fall asleep on the road, the fear of crashing or hurting somebody else is a good thing. That's that's a alarm, that's a painful thing you want to pull to the side or get a hotel and crash there for the night. So those are good things, but anxiety is an illusion. Anxiety is something your brain, your mind makes up that has not actually happened. And it is this debilitating state where there's no momentum, there's nothing positive that comes out of it. It's like your mind is working against you, and it's the opposite of faith. Because faith is the possibility of your vision becoming a reality. But anxiety and fear coupled together is the possibility of your vision not coming into reality. And if you can tell here, there is a pattern that these are just invisible things. A thought is neither right nor wrong. But if you have faith and you drive off of the faith portion of your mind, think about the possibility of hope, of your vision coming into reality, of you fulfilling your purpose. Like, there is only benefit to that. So if you can choose, which it's a choice, your thoughts, and if you can choose to operate from the faith portion of your mind, being intentional with every thought, every person, every relationship, every song, everything that comes your way in one day. Can you imagine how many things come your way? And you do a scan. Is this supporting the faith portion of where I'm operating from? Or am I choosing the anxiety and fear that's going to debilitate my vision actually coming into reality? And I have to do this every single day. I'm preaching on this right now, but I'm saying every single day I have thoughts of defeat. I have thoughts of fear, and every single day, especially there's something about the start of the day. And that's why I love podcasting, throwing up a podcast in the start of my day, throwing up a sermon, because that ripple effects into the rest of the day. And you're thinking about, words of life, and you're feeding your mind with goodness. So just to be so intentional, like I worked in news, but it's very rare when I watch the news because that does the opposite to my faith to vision goal, if that makes sense. So I just want to encourage you to be intentional with every little thing that comes your way in one single day, because that day turns into a week, which turns into a month, which turns into a year, which can become your life. And there's so many things that slip us by because we're not actually intentional with what it's doing to our life. You only have one life. You only have one chance. And so if you can cling to everything to get to your vision, to live with fulfillment in sync with who God created you to be and your purpose, and you fill your mind with goodness and you're feeding it with positive things, then you will see a major shift in not only the way you think, but your happiness. Doesn't matter where you are, what circumstance you have, like to know it's like a different level of gratitude that you practice every single day, that you're alive and you're breathing in this very season of your life. Like God created you right now, not 100 years ago, not 100 years from now. You're listening to my voice right now, and you're breathing and your heart is beating without you even trying. So if you have a beating heart and you're listening to me right now, this is no mistake. You have a significant calling on your life. And the worst lie you can tell yourself is that your life is not significant. And to live in the past with all these painful situations that happen to you, you got to get up, put your shoes on, and keep going. Do not live in the past. Use that pain for somebody else's gain. Like, you got to shift your perspective. And I'm not demeaning or lowering any kind of pain you're going through. There are people listening to me right now where I cannot even imagine the pain that you've been through, because I haven't been through specific painful situations that you have. But what I do know is you cannot let it debilitate you. You have to get up and bounce back. I don't care how many times you fall. I don't care how many painful situations you've been in. You got to get up, put your shoes on, and bounce back. Here's what I know. We have all different kinds of motivations in life. I was listening to Pastor Rick Warren the other day, and he was saying we have this internal motivation, and then we have this external motivation, things that motivate us, whether it was a painful situation in your life, or you feel like life is over, or you feel debilitated, or you feel alone. But I encourage you right now, there is an eternal motivation that we can focus on. Because the eternal motivation is the most important motivation, because everything that your physical eyes can see is going to be gone one day. There's a time to be born and there's a time to pass away. Your career, the money in your piggy bank, the furniture in your home, your makeup, your jewelry, your body, your physical body is going to be gone one day. So if you're going through something challenging, no, there's no physical possible way, emotional way that this thing is going to be forever. One day, we're going to step into eternity. So no matter what you're going through right now, it's temporary. Whatever pain you're going through, it's temporary. So if you can look at it from above, this overview from this perspective of eternity, and know this pain will pass. And in this short time, this one life we have, if I can choose to be vulnerable and to share my story with somebody else who it can help, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be healing. And there's so much joy in knowing that this pain is not going to last forever. So I hope this encourages you, my friend. Wherever you are in life, there are people from every season listening to this right now. Someone who's in a season of joy, someone who's in a season of depression, someone alone, somebody with family. I was thinking about Mother's Day, and Mother's Day was this past Sunday, and I just, my heart went out to so many people because it's such a sensitive holiday. There are people who, it's the most beautiful day, just reminiscing on such a joyful season of their life of becoming a mother. But then I started thinking about friends of mine who want a baby so bad and either lost a baby, had miscarriage, or, wants a baby but hasn't been able to get pregnant. And then others who have had abortions, and others who have chose adopting route, or others who have lost their mothers, or others who have such an unhealthy relationship with their mom. And so, you see on social media, everyone posting such glory and beauty, but then my heart just really started thinking about those people who this is actually maybe a painful holiday for them. So wherever you are in that, I just want to send you some love. I just felt like I needed to say that right now, and just maybe in those seasons of if you are struggling, like that's an example of, vulnerability with opening up and others relating with you in that season, and to go through that together. And maybe just guard yourself from social media during those times when you know that it could sting you. Just protect your eyes, protect your ears, and guard your heart. Okay, my friends, I really enjoyed this episode 16 of A Drop of Sunshine with you. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, let me know. Take a screenshot, post it on Instagram. I want to see what kinds of messages are resonating with you. And if it resonated with you on a personal level, shoot me a personal direct message, and I would love to connect with you on a deeper way. And maybe you get so much out of this that you would like one-on-one coaching with me. I would love to hear more about where you are in your life, and you can shoot me an email, daphne@daphnedelorean.com. Maybe we can do some one-on-one coaching as well. Okay, my friends, I love and I appreciate each one of you. I'm wishing you a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Remember, you are just one drop away. Have a blessed day, my friends. All right, my friends, if you're still listening, I have the best for last little treat for you here. My husband, Josh, he's sitting right next to me, and he is going to share what song is finishing out the show. Honey?
Hey guys,
Hi, is this the first time you're on?
I guess it is, isn't it?
Welcome to A Drop of Sunshine.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're my sunshine.
This is a tune that I wrote a few years back with my good friends Kenny Foster and Marty Dotson. It's a beautiful little tune that we wrote kind of geared toward Kenny's wife and mine, Sarah, the beautiful Sarah. But it can apply to any spouse that you think the world of and that has basically just given you everything in life. And it's called Everything.
Well, that's sweet.
And it's straight to you too.
Oh,
honey.
well, thank you. Now I'm blushing, as you would say.
I love you.
I love you too.
Just an ordinary question, the kind that girls love asking. Boy, what made you fall in love with me? You know, I never really thought about it. How could I pick one thing out of all the beautiful that you can be? Baby, now that you let me sit and do the math. You already know I think you're pretty, but it ain't your Carolina blues. You already know I like to hold you, but it ain't the smell of your perfume. And you know I like your bad jokes and the way you sing off key. How you ain't perfect and you don't pretend to be. If you're asking what I love about you, I guess it's everything. Little pieces of the puzzle, like the way you know just what to say when everything is going wrong. Call to make sure I've been eating. Don't let me drive when I've been drinking. The way you made my house feel like a home. And all those little things add up to someone I can't help but love. You already know I think you're pretty, but it ain't the way you curl your hair. You already know I like to hold you, but it ain't just to have you there. And you know I like your dance moves and how you kiss me when I leave. How you ain't perfect and you don't pretend to be. So if you're asking what I love about you, I guess it's everything. That's something anyone can see. You already know I like to hold you, the way you lean in close to me. And you know I like your bad jokes, the way you sing off key. How you ain't perfect and you don't pretend to be. So if you're asking what I love Guess it's everything.